If your moon is in Gemini, your inner world feels like a conversation. Your thoughts and emotions are intertwined and darting and always curious, always wanting to learn more. The moon or internal world here does not stay in one place. If you haven't watched it yet, I recommend you watch my video about the moon in astrology and then come back to this video. Moon in Gemini does not stay still in one place. It is always wandering and probing and questioning and seeking unexpected things in familiar places. When the moon is in Gemini, our internal and emotional worlds become radiant with new ideas and stories and different textures of language. You're probably like sitting in the bus and looking out the window and randomly thinking about a camel with a cat on its head, and the cat is wearing a tunic and playing the violin. I always think Gemini moons would be really amazing comic artists or comedians, but it almost feels like a waste of your intellectual capacity, because at the same time you could just as easily write books and books and books about some random topic that you researched and fell into a rabbit hole of in the middle of the night. But you are very discerning of things. You don't tend to take things at face value. You really rely on your internal feelings when it comes to whether you know if somebody's information is trustworthy. And you have a lot to see, you have a lot to learn about, so you don't waste a minute of your life looking or learning about something that is not vibing with you. You feel most alive and most like yourself when your mind is working and penning all of these different ideas together. This lunar placement tends to see life as a continuous unfolding of information. And one of your deepest needs is to know and understand as much as you can. You are probably doing a binge deep dive of all of the astrology videos that you can find. I applaud you for that because there is such good information in this topic. You can cross-reference me with any other source and you will find that the information is the same. But then if you really get into it, you're going to want to learn about all of the different types of astrology from different cultures across the world. Maybe. I don't know how deep you're going to go with this. Or, this is what I recommend, you start looking into Hermetic astrology. YouTube often gives you the surface level of stuff, like the newbies, dip your toe into it kind of thing. But if you want to go really deep into it, look at the books. You can pirate some books. I didn't say that. Who said that? Favorite place to pirate books is called Ocean of PDF. You didn't hear that from me. But you probably already know a lot about how to get all of the interesting information off the internet. You are probably really good with computers and you find like a safe place inside your technology. Like that is your place. Almost as if your phone or your computer is a physical representation of your mind. I'm seeing 333 on the timer as I'm recording this, and that is the number of communication. And Gemini also rules over the third house of communication. You process the things that happen in your life through creating analogies and metaphors and internal conversations about them. You realize that you can use words and phrases as triggers to incite certain emotional reactions. You probably have an interest or have at some point been interested in neuro-linguistic programming. You have the ability to shift your perspective on something in the blink of the eye and see many different sides of a situation, especially when it comes to the people that are close to you. And if you're not careful with it, you can talk yourself into understanding anything. So it's really good to have boundaries here about the things that are okay for you to let into your mental world and the things that are not. As in, there are certain rabbit holes that are better left alone for your own sanctity. You have a very strong ability to articulate for other people what they're feeling when they don't have the ability to articulate it themselves. If you struggle with being too in your head and getting lost up there, I recommend you watch my Moon in Taurus video. I won't tell you why, just go watch it. It is like the mind is always trying to figure out what the body already knows. This perpetual search for understanding that you have is about an internal longing for coherence, about understanding what reality is, and the eventual realization at later degrees that your reality is what you perceive it to be. You need to have a partner who is able to mentally keep up with you, who can mentally stimulate you, because you get very bored and very restless very easily. So go on long walks if you're not already doing that, and let your mind just sort of play it out until you can find that place of silence. A huge part of your mission here on Earth is to be perfectly okay within yourself when there's nothing going on in your head and you're just observing your reality in mindfulness and appreciating the Earth's beauty with an imaginary smiley face on your heart. It would be too cliche for me to tell you to journal, because if you're not already doing it, it's probably because you have bad handwriting, because you're thinking so fast and your pen can't keep up with how fast you're thinking. Maybe just open a Word document and write down all of the things that are in your head. They don't need to do anything, just get them out of you and onto the paper. Thank you so much for stopping by my little cottage in the woods. Let me know what your thoughts are. I'm sure you thought a lot of things. I'm currently doing a series where I go through all of the moon signs, so subscribe and turn on notifications if you want to keep up with that series. If you enjoyed this video, let me know by giving it a like. And may the skies remind you of the home within you. Till next time.